Hey everybody, it's Mike Pingel. Welcome back to Collector's Haven. Today we have CJ in the house. He collects Dragon Ball, anime, and of course, he is a brand new Star Wars collector of Star Wars. And so I'm very interested in seeing how he's navigating through the Star Wars world because that's a lot to navigate. CJ, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here and just talk about collecting.
Right? I love collect. Well, I collect too, so it's always the
Awesome.
hunt. I was at a flea market this weekend. I found something. I was like, oh, I've never seen that thing before, and how
The
much?
hunt gets
You
you.
know, I know it's the hunt. It's always the hunt that I love. That's what I love most. I mean, unfortunately, now it's like eBay, and now
Yeah.
it's the hunt on the phone, and you can't get it before someone snaps it from you.
Right. That's the real part is trying to get it before somebody else gets you.
Right? Or hoping they misspelled the name and you found it. And
Right.
no one else because they don't have a buy it now and they won't do anything for you. Anyway, it's just a long saga over there. And now there's taxes too on eBay, which was when you're like, what? How much is that now?
Yeah. Now you have to start calculating. Okay. Well, before it was like, all right, well, how much after shipping? And then now it's like, okay, well, now I got to add the taxes too. All right. This is added up very quickly.
I know, especially in California, our taxes are very expensive. So it's just I'm like, what?
I've heard.
$300? What? Ridiculous. Anyway, so you collect Dragon Ball. Where do you find most of your collectibles?
So I really struggle, honestly. So through my journey of collecting, I've had to do a lot of online searching. And when I actually first got started, I've kind of found just through Facebook Marketplace, some different sites, and then it turned into meeting people. That has actually been the best avenue for me for collecting is networking. So I have made some awesome friends, some awesome collector friends through that actually live in Japan. And so that's actually how I've been able to acquire a lot of my collection. So I've met some great friends and they've been able to partner with me and they kind of worked out. They're there. They love anime and collecting also. And so they love being kind of hunting for people. They actually enjoy it. So I've kind of been their person for it. And so they've kind of reached out to me and they'll show me what they find and different things. And so we'll kind of connect together and they ship it directly from Japan. I love some unique stuff, some old stuff that you can only find in Japan. So they've kind of been a great source and they send it to me and they're like, hey, I found this, never seen it before, or it's very unique. And I'm like, okay, you got me sold. So that's how I've acquired a lot of my Dragon Ball collection. I unfortunately don't get to hunt stores as often. Now I've actually started to find some local stores. I love local. If I can find a local shop that is selling some things, I'm all about supporting local businesses anyway. So if I can find someone that sells it, even if it's a little bit more that I can find it maybe on your big chain sites, if I can find them, I go in there and the hunt has begun again. So that's what I've been doing lately is finding some of my collection is through there.
Right now, from my understanding, in Japan they have the auctions or the raffles for stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Where you mainly get your stuff for those, or just stuff in the stores?
It's kind of a mix. So I've had my first time a buddy of mine helped me out, and so there's about a 15-hour difference. So we kind of had to work it out, and he went there and bought some raffle tickets for me, and that helped. But also just going in little shops there. So, it's more common, it's kind of more popular. So a lot more kind of corner stores that maybe we here would be like a snack shop and some little odds and ends. For them, it's a snack shop and figures. So they would kind of go in there, take some videos, some pictures. They kind of learned what I liked and didn't like, and would kind of spend some time just hunting down some things and send them to me. And they'd send me some pictures and like, hey, I can go back there later on if you'd like. And so that just kind of worked out that way. I had another buddy that they have some local sites there. I think kind of similar to what we have here, Macari. And they're able to just see collectors post things for sale and they kind of go there and they're able to purchase them, have them shipped to their house and then shipped to me.
Well, that's it sounds like you have your army of little
Yes.
trying to find what you want. It's great. Great. So in the world of Dragon Ball, do you collect on just a certain part of it, or do you collect on the whole universe?
So kind of the whole universe, growing up, and that's what got me into it was Dragon Ball the original. So for me originally, it was a lot harder to find stuff like that from the original Dragon Ball. So I kind of started with the newer stuff. I think is now as Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, and I focused on mainly the characters that I enjoyed at first, and then it kind of grew from there. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I can try to get some of the different characters and just try to have some uniqueness, some different things. So it doesn't get monotonous. I like variety. So that's where it kind of grew. And the more I could find and see, I think is where it kind of got me is, oh, well, that looks neat. It looks something different. And then it's just kind of like, oh, well, this is from the original Dragon Ball. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this before. I need to have it. And things like that just excited me. So it just depends. If it's unique and different, especially from the older or when they first started making the figures and different things like that, they kind of catch my eye very quickly.
Nice. So we were talking about characters and all that stuff. I'm gonna segue into Star Wars. You said you're starting to collect on Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is a huge, from 1960.
Yes.
Wow. What are you collecting? Are you focusing on something? Or are you just, myself, I collect a little bit on Star Wars, but I only collect on things I really like. So how are you conquering the Star Wars collecting?
Yeah. So initially I was like, I love Star Wars. I think Star Wars next to Dragon Ball Z is my childhood in a nutshell. And so they just always gone hand in hand. And when I got big into collecting, I was like, well, I've gotten a pretty comfortable place with Dragon Ball Z and anime. So I think I really want to get back into Star Wars. And I really was unsure. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to start with my favorite characters. So most recently, one of my favorite things I found was a Darth Maul figure. It was a 50th anniversary. So I was super excited about having it. And that was the hunt was for it to get that. And as I got a few odds and ends, because I just didn't know what I wanted to focus on, I grabbed a little bit of everything to get started. But now that I look at it and I started keep searching, I think I'm going to focus on characters I really enjoyed. And then a little bit of the newer series, the Mando, Boba Fett. I know everybody's really been raving about those. And I just love the armor, kind of how they look. So I figured I'll get some of that and then I'll focus on just the characters I enjoy. So Darth Maul will be number one for me.
So I'm hearing more of the dark side for you.
A little bit of the dark side I think I'm leaning towards. Of course, you got your, Yoda and things like that. So enjoy, but always like that kind of darker side sometimes.
Nice. So with all of that, you also collect on anime. And that's a huge portion of the world of anime. What do you choose on anime to collect?
So I started with Dragon Ball Z because that was my childhood. I enjoyed it for so long and it just really resonated with me. I got to a point and I've watched all different sorts of anime, but I kind of now it's like, if an anime really resonates me and I have almost an emotional attachment or kind of feel attached to it, then I kind of make a decision of, do I want to collect it? I watch anime all the time, so I couldn't collect everything, and not every anime comes out with statues and figures. So I kind of have to be selective too. So I think the most recent one I got into that I really resonated with me, it's a very long name. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. I could not say that 10 times fast. Yeah. So yeah, it's an odd name, but I got really into the anime. It was what I consider a feel-good anime, kind of uplifting, makes you happy watching it, but you get really attached. And so I started a small collection of that, and then just some others that I really get into. So I've kind of been more selective here and there. And my wife also enjoys anime, so she has hers that she prefers, and so she collects a little bit of that in her own way too.
Wow, and your daughter collects too, so it's the whole family collecting.
Yep, my daughter and my son.
So you must have fun weekends just going out shopping.
Yes. So we go initially for one thing, and then everybody walks home something different.
Now, are they all looking out for everybody else too when they're shopping?
Yes. Yes.
Like looking.
Yeah. Yeah. So if my wife sees something, she's like, "Oh my God, I saw this, and I know you kind of like it." Even my brother-in-law, he was at a anime convention, and we weren't able to go because it was snowing our way, and he actually texts us. He's like, "Hey, I got a couple things for both of y'all. I know you like Dragon Ball Z. My wife loves Sailor Moon." He's like, "I know you've been struggling to find it. It's older." And he's like, "I got these for you." And so we were super excited. So
Nice.
kind of works out. People know what we like. And they're like, "Hey, I saw this. I think it's something you would like."
That's nice. So in your family, were you the first one to start collecting? And how long ago did you start collecting?
Yes. So I was the first one to start collecting. Officially collecting, I started, I think, about a year and a half ago. So I took a promotion at my job and started working from home amidst the pandemic. And you kind of work from home, and you kind of stare at some walls and stare at some screens all day long. And when I first got home and I bought my desk, I was like, "Oh, I want some simple things on my desk just to keep my interest, so it's not just boring and staring at a wall." I was like, "You know what? I'll search around. Maybe I can get something Dragon Ball Z related." And my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z is Vegeta. And I just have always attached to him. He started out as a villain and turned into a very major part of the entire series. And I just always loved him. And so I was like, "Well, I'll get something simple." Ordered it. It came. I was like, "This is nice. I wonder if there's more like this. I wonder if it's out there." That was the worst thing I could do, is to search. And I found out there is. I was like, "I wonder if people collect these. It's something common." I started searching Facebook groups, and that was the next worst decision I ever made, or best decision I ever made. And I found out that there's a whole collector community, and I started seeing what other people collect, how they, put them out, how they display them, what do they collect, and I just saw there's a whole world out there. So I started from there. I started looking around, buying a few more figures here and there, and I actually I wanted to show it. So this is my first figure I actually purchased. This Vegeta. So it was my first thing I ever put on my desk. It was kind of just fit perfectly for me. And it's crazy. I get asked a lot, like, "Why did you buy it?" I was like, honestly, it just looked cool at the time. And now it's worth double what I paid for, which is even better, because people now are like, "Oh, I can't find that one anywhere," or "It's super expensive." I'm like, I paid next to nothing for it, because I guess nobody was looking for it at the time. And I kind of got it started. Start small, and then just grew over the year and a half. And when I started doing it, my wife was she was supportive of it, and she saw it. Of course, my son was very interested in it, and he saw it and was like, "Man, he's small," and so he just kind of was just very interested in looking at it, and we just say, "Wow." And he really liked it. So I passed on a few things to him as I got more collecting, and my wife showed interest. I was like, "Well, if you're really interested in this anime, this is out there. This is what it looks like." And she's like, "Oh, I think I would kind of like that." And I bought her first few sets of Funko Pops, and it just went from there. She's like, "Oh my God, I just saw this one. Oh my gosh, this one's coming out." And I was like, "Okay, I got to worry about now collecting for two people and hunting." And then it just grew from there. My son was interested. So we're like, "Okay, well, we'll get him a few things that he likes." And my daughter, we're like, "Well, she likes this, so let's get her a few things too in her room." So now it's just become a family affair.
A family collects together, stays together.
Yes.
Wow. So you have to make sure that, all those things you need to purchase first for the house is done.
Yes.
I'm not telling you how to collect, but now that you got them all together, it's fine. Who cares?
Right.
What is your okay? So can we look at some of the stuff? I mean, I see all the great stuff behind you. Obviously, you have done a lot of collecting in the last year and a half or a year.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited to show y'all. Well, hopefully we'll start on this end, and we'll kind of work our way around, and hopefully you can really see it and we can enjoy it together. I have approximately 4.5 shelves worth of collection and figures, and it's still ever growing. So we'll kind of take a look at my figures on this side and we'll see. So this is kind of the top side. I actually have my emblem logo. Was very happy someone actually helped me out in getting that personalized for myself.
And explain the logo and your name.
Yes. So Rasta Saiyan Collection. So I am Rastafarian. That is my beliefs. And it kind of just, as I was coming up with a name for what I wanted to be known, that was something very big to me. And then in Dragon Ball, the main characters are Super Saiyans or Saiyans. So they are a race, a very proud race. And that always kind of went back with who I am and very proud of what I've come from. And then I had, of course, my collection. So this was something awesome. A guy actually in Peru that I met designed the logo for me and made it really similar to what I look like. So that's the name. And then I have the actual image of myself kind of mixed in there with it.
Nice. Now, does everybody else who collects Dragon Ball do they make a name for themselves, or are you just?
I've started to notice since I've started to be more present on social media that more people are starting to, and so they've actually started to kind of create their own little unique names and have some different things on there. So some of them have used the same guy that actually created my logo, and so they're kind of similar. But they've kind of either used their own name to add into it or something that resonated with them. A few people that I know have kind of just used part of their name or things like that. My name didn't really fit for what I wanted to go for, so I wanted something a little bit different. So most people call me CJ, but a lot in the collector community just call me Rasta, which kind of works out. And they're easy to find me. So when I hear people like, oh, I saw Rasta on this, and I'm like, oh, that's me. And they're like, oh, snap.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong button. Who is that guy up there? What is going on with him?
Yeah, so that is Super Buu. He is actually my favorite villain. He is in the arc or saga called the Buu Saga. He was kind of one of the ultimate villains that they kind of ended Dragon Ball Z with. He probably caused the most issues going in through the Dragon Ball Z, and he really just was something amazing. And he's always been my favorite. This figure I really wanted for a long time, and he was a lot bigger than I expected when I got it, so he had to go on the top shelf. I will show you in a little bit where I keep all the other Buu forms. So he's kind of went through some transforming. He's pink and he can kind of move his body fluently. It's kind of like his body is like a Play-Doh type rubbery type material. And so he was kind of created to take on many worlds and throughout the universe. And he was kind of captured because he was even too powerful for the people that made him. And so he took on a lot and was probably that era and that saga for me was my most favorite. And so he's always kind of just been my favorite villain of all time.
Nice. All right. I like him. He's pink. You like it. I like it.
Yes. So you kind of can see the way I display my figures. I actually do it by saga. So except for there's a few shelves that are odd and ends. But like here, this is what we call the Saiyan Saga. So this is when it kind of took off. The Dragon Ball Z actually first started. The original Dragon Ball was just Dragon Ball. And then they introduced, which is here, Vegeta. So that is my favorite character. And so they kind of introduced him into the series, bringing another Saiyan, and actually taught the main character, Goku, who he was and where he was from. He started out as a villain and then actually grew to kind of grow his own strength and, become actually one of the main characters. And he's kind of an anti-hero. He helps, but it's kind of for his own reasonings. Very prideful from where he comes from. Their original planet got blew up. So, but he's always was there. He was actually the prince of their world. His dad was the king. So he kind of always considers himself still the prince of all Saiyans. Right. So the second shelf is kind of a mix, but it is a Dragon Ball. So the original, where it all began for us. So one thing, like I said, I love unique things. So this here and is a DVD diorama set. So you could actually, in Japan, when this originally came out, you had to purchase the DVD sets and complete them and turn it in and show that you had the complete set. And they would give you part of the diorama. So you can see here, so this is what's the Cell Saga, the Buu Saga, and then there is another one on the back. And you had to turn it in to actually receive each part of the diorama to complete it. And it was never for sale. It was something you couldn't purchase. It was only came out in Japan. And fortunately now people do resell it, but it is worth a lot of money. And I got very fortunate that one of my Japan friends was able to find each piece for me. So I had to purchase it separately to build it out and build this piece. It's very old. Not many people have it, but I was very excited to have it. It's probably something I would never let go, no matter how much somebody offered me, honestly.
And how much would people offer you for it?
So this complete, I have seen on eBay, probably goes about 500 plus. The complete actual, so there's a bit more tiers to it. I'm missing, I think, about 4 pieces of the diorama. Complete, it goes over $1,000 plus on eBay and other sites, and it has sold at that. Most people that finally complete it are very not willing to sell it.
That's understandable. That's
Yes.
nice. I like it.
Awesome. So kind of got a mix of some different characters, and then kind of some of the female characters from it. Some of these are actually older figures, so some of these were the original that came out. They don't make very much of them, and same with this. So this was a little world diorama. You could only get in Japan. It was like a little puzzle piece you have to actually put together. I got it and it was taken apart, and so I felt like I was putting together a Rubik's Cube to actually get it put together. I was very surprised when I put it. I was like, man, am I doing a Rubik's Cube? Is this a test? What is this going on? So it was pretty awesome to find. And behind here, we actually have some Dragon Ball diorama sets. These were only released in Japan. They were part of the original Dragon Ball when the main character Goku completed his first main tournament. And so I'm missing 7 more pieces to complete this. I am highly seeking them out. They're not very easy. So once I complete it, it'll show every person he fought in every battle from his original tournament when he was a kid. So I think it's pretty awesome. Just another one of those unique things that I like to have that not many people have, fortunately.
Yeah. I like it. So it sounds like Japan did a lot of collectibles that you add on to. You know, it's like
Yes.
one thing, but it's like many things. Keeps you going, keeps you addicted.
Yeah. Yes. That's where they get you. It's like, oh, well, here's one part of it. Oh, there's a matching part that you want to complete. And then you're like, oh, lovely. Now I need to complete it. So, and then the hunt begins. It's like, okay, where can I find it? Who has it? Who's willing to let it go? So it's gotten me a few times. So we'll go down here to the next level. So again, these are some original Dragon Ball. These are what's called Boobies. They're soft vinyl. They came out in the early 2000s. They're a little bit larger and they're kind of a softer vinyl thing. Again, another only Japan release. They did, and they're really awesome. I didn't know how great they were until I got my first set of them when I first started. But it has been awesome to get them. And then probably this one right here, Master Roshi, is probably one of my favorite in my collection. And talking about them getting you on completing a set. These 4 here are a complete set. You have to collect each one. You have the golden version and the regular. And my buddy showed me one, and he's like, oh, I had somebody else that bought all 4 and collected them. Here's a picture of them. They look amazing together. And I was like, thank you for getting me. And I'm going to have to complete it because I can't just have one. I'll feel incomplete. So they're awesome. They're actually little lights. So they turn on and you can, in the dark, they seem a little bit better, but you can kind of see this one lit lit up some.
That's cool. Do they dance with music or anything, and did they just turn on?
They just turn on. Just like a little intricate thing to add.
Nice.
Right. So we have some more here. These are part of my larger figures. This was kind of these figures come from kind of a Japan only series they did. It's called Dragon Ball Heroes. They kind of made this series. It's kind of a fan fiction in a way. It's a lot of things that as fans people wanted to see and we never got to see. And so they created this off kind of series, and they made these characters the designs that a lot of people wanted from the get-go. And so it's kind of awesome to see. And so I tried to collect a few of them. When they release, they never get an overseas release. They will only come out in Japan. So you kind of have to fight a little bit harder to get them eventually. And they released some more here and there to try to collect. Right. So many collectors love this shelf from mine. This is Brawley. He was one of the very early villains that a lot of people liked because he was a villain, but he really wasn't. It's just because he was way he was raised and kind of trained. And so he's another Super Saiyan that was supposed to be part of a myth they called a legendary Super Saiyan. And so a lot of people really like him. I'm an okay fan about him, but the figures look amazing. So it's something I couldn't pass up eventually keeping in the collection for myself. As you can see, they kind of did a rework and did an older version of him and a newer version. So they did 2 movies, and that kind of spiked up everybody's fascination for him again. And here is that lovely show I told you. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's just the beginning of this collection. I told myself I will only get one figure of each character and then I'm done. So hopefully I will be able to accomplish that and be done. This is the main character, Rimuru. So he can slime, but he can actually convert his body to be more humanoid. And then a lot of people love, and I love, is Naruto. So this is another one of my favorite animes. I didn't watch it as a kid, and I wish I kind of would have. And I didn't watch it until I got older. But I've really enjoyed it. And my wife has actually bought 3 of these figures and majority of the Funko Pops in the back for me as a support. She's like, I don't know what you don't have in Dragon Ball Z, but I do know that what you don't have in Naruto so far.
That's right. Supportiveness.
Yes.
Buy it all, trade it off if you need to.
Right. All right, so we will get started back. So these are the other shelves I have. So this is probably my favorite shelf. So this is from the Dragon Ball GT series they did. It's actually technically not canon to the show. The original creator, Dragon Ball, had some play in this, but he allowed some other creators to use his designs and his characters. And they kind of did a spinoff in the downtime that he was done creating the show. And they kind of wanted to continue it without him. So they created these characters. And actually, these 2 figures right here are custom made. I met a guy that lives in Ecuador. He is a custom figure maker. And so he custom made them for me. That's my second favorite villain, who is Super Baby. And he custom made them for me. And I'm very excited. One of the few people that actually own these characters in their collection, because Banpresto and Bandai actually has not made the decision to make official figures of them. So it's pretty awesome. So here is actually some of my older school figures. So when Banpresto and Bandai first started making the raffle figures, which called the Ichiban Kujis, this is how they originally first looked. Not the super detailed that we have now that you've seen on some of my shelves. This is how they first looked. And so they actually I enjoy them more than some people do. And so it's been a part of me to complete these. And I'm only missing about 1 or 2 more to have some of these original figures here, which I love. And I have almost complete box set of some Dragon Ball Z posing figures. Those are probably some of my few that I will never unbox because they were very limited and hard to get the full set, and I'm only missing one more. And so I told myself they will be something I won't actually unbox ever.
Now, with unboxing them all, do you keep the boxes?
I do. I actually keep them all for the most part. I have a storage unit in my backyard that currently houses them until I'm able to actually convert that into my collection room. And so once I am able to convert it, I'll have to probably crush the boxes and flatten them out. But I like to keep them from time to time. I do decide to sell figures to make room for some higher quality or something I prefer. And so I like to keep them just in case, because some collectors are very particular. They will only collect it if you have the box. And some don't really care as long as the figure's in great quality. So I like to keep them just in case.
Good.
So this is another kind of a saga I sectioned out, was the Frieza Saga. Another main villain that is shown throughout the anime, pops up very regularly. And the figure in the back is also, which is Nail. He's another custom figure that I ordered from my buddy in Ecuador. So it was super awesome. He did some amazing work creating it for me. And something that a lot of people like the character, but again, they just decide not to make a figure of him. I don't know why. So see, these are some of the more newer Ichiban Kujo, what we call mass release figures. And this one actually back here is another custom that I got. The other character that was very well liked, but they just for some reason won't decide to make an official figure of him. So Buddy was very awesome. That was actually the first custom I purchased from him as I saw it. And it was really great to have in the collection. So here is my pink friend again. Majin Buu. As you can see, he is my favorite villain. It's something I collected a lot of. They don't make a lot of his figures, and they're just harder to find sometimes. So a lot of people ask me when they see him, where the heck did you get it? Because I really want it, and I can't find any. But I've been fortunate enough to actually find them here and there, and they're not easy. But when I do, I hold on to them and not let them go, even though I've gotten a few offers.
And he seems to have a different body in every one too.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about him. You saw him in one way, and then as he kind of got more powerful or changed kind of his personality, he transformed. And so it's funny that this is the smallest of him in what we consider Kid Buu, but this is actually his final form of being just pure evil at the end. So this figure back here, I actually got it because I owned this when I was a kid. I was, of course, childish and took it out of the box, lost all the pieces, probably played with it so much the joints weren't even any good. And as I got older and I started back collecting, I saw someone selling it. I saw him out of box with some missing pieces, but I finally found somebody that had it complete. Everything's in it. It's got the original Dragon Ball card with it, everything. So I bought it and I was like, I will never unbox this thing. He's like, it's perfectly sealed. There's just a little bit of glue that's loosened up over time because it came out in the early 2000s, but he's like, it's still in great shape. I was like, sold. You are the first person I found with it fully complete that's willing to sell it. So I'm not letting it go at this point. So again, it's one of the few that I've actually kept boxed up in my entire collection.
And I can't believe as a kid you opened it and played with it. How
I know, right? What was I thinking?
What were you thinking? Like all this Star Wars stuff that opened them and played with them. Oh.
I know. What was I thinking? If somebody would knocked me on my head as a kid.
No one knows. All right, what's next? What's up next?
So here we have is my smaller figure collection. I really enjoy smaller figures. They have great detail. And sometimes they're very hard to find, and they're just sometimes I don't feel like they're as appreciated as they should. But I appreciate them, so that's what all that matters to me. This is my Dragon Ball GT. They're called the World Collectible Figures, or WCFs. I have this entire set. I am literally missing one character, and once I have that, I'll have the entire set. I have seen the entire set go for about $600+ when it's complete and you have all the boxes and everything. And so I will, once I have purchased the last one, I'll probably have spent less than half of that. So if I ever decide to resell, I'll be in a pretty good stance and from a profit margin, which is great. And I just love it and appreciate for all the characters they have in it. And so they haven't made a lot of these characters in larger scale. So it's kind of great to be able to have them at least in some scale. So here we have, which is called Gashapons or HG Gashapons. They're smaller scale. They're very small, just a few inches, but they're just great quality. You can usually only find them in Japan. They'll make them and then they'll re-release them sometimes. But some of these older ones that you can't find very often. And you kind of just keep them in the collection. I enjoy them. Again, it's the character assortment for me. Sometimes they'll make these and they'll make characters that they haven't made in larger scale. So I enjoy it and I'm kind of able to create some scenes. So I can be able to kind of just pinpoint where they're supposed to be in the actual series. And it's funny. So this dragon here, Shinron, was the first figure that my wife ever bought me. And so it will stay in my collection forever. I will never sell it, no matter how much it gains in worth, because I know that was the first one she ever purchased me.
That's very sweet of you.
And so this kind of rounds up the rest of them. So it's kind of a proud point on my shelf. I keep them all together so I can kind of look at them and keep up with them. They're very small, so the only worst part about it is cleaning them, dusting. So it takes a lot longer than the rest of my collection. So here's kind of some of the ladies in my collection. They don't make as many figures of them. They're called Glitter and Glamour. But when they do, they're great. And so I try to collect as many as I can, just to not just have all the guys or just some of the villains and stuff, but show appreciation to some of the awesome females that were very powerful in the series, but maybe some people didn't notice. So I wanted to stop right here and show, so this back here is a time machine. It was actually, the maker is called Taki Corp. They used to make figures and things back in the day, and they no longer do. And so they're very, very limited. And I was very lucky. My buddy, before he actually left Japan, he was able to find it for me. I was okay with just getting the time machine. They have a few other ones they've made, and they're really awesome. I think they're really great. They're great material. And they light up a little bit. So they always just made them very simplistic, but they were always such great quality. And they're now very hard to find. And some great collectors I've seen own a few of them. Very few have you seen that actually own all of the ones that they've made. They go up in price over time continuously. So they never kind of stop in what they're worth over time. And finally down here is kind of just different figures I've collected that over time that I'm not necessarily 100%. I enjoy them, but they're just some they didn't fit exactly in the rest of my collection.
So is there one that you love more than any of them?
Yes, that would probably be that golden ape looking thing. It's probably, as I've collected and I've gone back and forth, he is probably my favorite. It's a custom made, but he just did such great quality with it. I just could not, I just love him. And I every time I look at it, I'm just so happy. I get a lot of compliments about it. And so he's right now is the reigning champ as the favorite out of everybody in the collection so far.
And so what's the most expensive one you have?
The most expensive I have purchased would actually be this dragon here. This is Purunga. He is the dragon from Namek in the series. And so you had to summon him. So this character here, Dende, would summon him using Dragon Balls. And so when he came, he was a very massive, very large. And so he is, the figure line is called Ichiban Kuji, and it's the last prize. So the last prizes don't get overseas release. They are very limited. You usually have to play the raffle, and it's the absolute last ticket in the raffle to actually win them. So some people will go and play, and you just hope there's like only a few tickets left and you buy the last of them and you get him. Or some people actually go and buy out the entire raffle. And so you're able to get him. But otherwise you had to play the raffle, or after the raffles ran for a while, they start selling the actual figures standalone. And so I was able to get him. Two buddies helped me get him from Japan. And so I was the proudest. It was the first last prize dragon for me to be able to purchase. And I was just so ecstatic about it. I think I kept second guessing, and my buddy was like, man, this is the cheapest you've seen it. You know, if you pass on it, you're going to regret it, because I've done that before. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. It's worth it. I think it'll be worth it in the end.
That's right. You need to touch your inner collector and just do it. Just buy it.
Yes.
You know,
anytime that I have not, I regret it in the end.
Me too. Whenever I not putting that extra amount of money on eBay, that extra.
Yes. So I was very happy. It's probably one of my pride and joys. It was my number one favorite figure until I got that custom. So, but it's still top 3. We'll still give it top 3 appreciation.
Beautiful. What is the hardest thing you're looking for? Is there something other than the ones you need to collect more? Is there one item that you're looking for?
Yeah, so there is an older, it's called a Super Master Star Piece, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta. It came out before I started collecting. It was an awesome figure. It looks amazing. So there's 4 versions of it. So they usually do the Super Master Star Piece. So they'll pick one character and they'll do kind of different paint scales of it. So they'll do one that's actually just black and gray, very simplistic. They'll do one that they consider like a 2D, so like 2-dimensional, or manga dimensions, what a lot of collectors call it. And so they do like darker tones, some a little bit more detail like you're looking at in the manga. Then they do a brush, which is very simplistic, simple paint job. And then there's the anime version. It's a little bit lighter colors, kind of stand back-ish. There's a Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and it's worth a lot of money. They have not re-released it, and I've seen it so many times. But the price tag on it is sometimes more than that entire dragon. And it's smaller than that dragon, Purunga. So I've gone back and forth, and I have not decided to do it. And I'm hoping a re-release, maybe. But if not, I think one day I will just kind of save up and make that purchase. I think it's one of those things that it'll be that tip of the iceberg for me for collecting to actually finally acquire.
No, you have to say, family, we're just having grilled cheese for the rest of the month.
Yes.
Ramen noodles. Have a nice day.
Ramen, we'll just do that for about a month, and then we'll get back to our regular eating.
Eat it. Exactly.
But, would like to just show my simple starter Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars, it's very started. I actually haven't even added lights over here yet, but it's still the beginning of it, and I'm excited to see. So up top is another anime. It's called My Hero Academia. But right below, and let me know if you can see just well, is Star Wars. So I have a few in there. This is the Darth Maul that I absolutely was willing to go crazy for. And some others here and there. Really love these. I think they're amazing. And they're their Black Series is the line that they're all from. So they kind of scale perfectly. They're about 6 inches, which is just enough, and easier to kind of pose and keep together. So kind of working on collecting some more here and there. And then I actually have my helmets. So these are the Star Wars Black Series helmets that I've really enjoyed. I didn't think I was going to enjoy the helmets so much. My wife actually purchased this for me for Valentine's because it was red. And so she wanted to, so it showed her love to me through collecting and through the color red.
And a red stormtrooper always says, "I love you." I know it does.
Right. Because he would never actually hit you with the bullet because his aim is horrible.
That's true. That is true. That is true. They're horrible. They're horrible shots, but they can't see through. They can't. I'm sure you just have to ask Finn. You can't see any of those.
Yeah, and I put the helmet on, so I kind of understand. It's when it actually are holding it and you're looking, you're like, I can see why they can never hit their targets. It's a little blurry in here. So, but it is awesome to kind of have
Where
on.
are you?
Yes.
I can't see. That was a wonderful Valentine's night, I'm sure. I can't see you. I'm kidding.
Yes. I was very surprised.
Well, that's wonderful. So you showcase all your collectibles. Does everybody have their collectibles in their rooms? Is there anything in the living room, or is that like a non-collecting zone?
So this is actually here is my living room. So we have two living rooms. So this was kind of supposed to be, it was like a formal living room, but we have a larger living room in the back that we use for family time. It's our family room. That is a no collection zone. That is strictly kind of kids' toys and just ourselves. My wife has her book collection and her mangas back there temporarily. And then her Harry Potter collection that she keeps there. We want to make sure the kids can't get to. But this is kind of our actual collecting room and her reading space and my workspace. So actually here to the left of me, she has her own collection. We're actually working on getting some shelving for her so she can showcase it like she wants. And then both of the kids keep their collection in their rooms. My son has his, and then my daughter keeps hers in her room. So for right now, we'll keep it that way until collections start outgrowing. We have to figure out a mutual space or something. Somebody's got to compromise. It'll probably be me because right now I have the largest of the four, so I might have to be willing to sacrifice some space so they can have some.
Well, you just have to work on that outside thing you were talking about. Your outside.
Yes. Yeah. So when we bought the house, it has an outside shed that somebody already started working on. They added electrical. They, kind of worked on it some. And so me and my wife, I was like, well, we started collecting and it started getting larger. It's like, well, if we can invest back there, we can put it all back there. It'll keep it siloed. It'll keep it protected, locked away, and things like that. So that's the current investment watch. So I've slowed down on collecting some so I can start investing back into that. Because once I can get that done, I can pretty much let loose. And also what comes in the mail will go straight back there. My wife won't ever see what I purchased for the month.
I'm sure she won't. I'm sure she won't
Right.
see anything. Nothing. Credit card. No, not us. She would never see that stuff.
Right.
At least you're all into this together, which is really nice. Good.
Yes. Yeah, I that's the best thing is that she appreciates it. She enjoys it. And that's what makes it fun. And, it's not a fight like, well, why'd you buy this? Or, it looks ugly. Let's get it out of the house. So since she appreciates it, the kids appreciate it. It makes it a lot more fun. And when it's a whole family, it's even better.
It is. Well, CJ, thank you so much for taking the time today, just showing your amazing collection. I mean,
Oh yeah.
It's you have great pieces that no one else has. I'm jealous. They're all jealous right now.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm happy that you're doing things like this, creating a space for just the collectors to talk, and I really appreciate to have the opportunity to show off everything. I enjoy it, and that's why I have my social media that I kind of display all my stuff on and talk with people about, and so
yes. And
that's really made it fun.
Social media.
Yep.
What are your addresses?
So you can find me on TikTok at Rasta_Saiyan_ Collection. Instagram, you can also find me the same, so Rasta_Saiyan_ Collection. And then on YouTube, it's just Rasta Saiyan Collection. Pretty easy to find me. My logo is usually pretty up there, myself, and then actually Rasta Saiyan Collection. So if you ever see it, that's me, the man behind it. But that's where I kind of platform very heavily on TikTok. YouTube, I promote myself, and then some longer videos. I like to give reviews to kind of help out collectors that maybe are on the fence about something and they're just unsure. Seeing it up close, seeing someone talk about it kind of helps them like, hey, I think this is where I want to go and get this figure. So I enjoy it. I love working with others and helping other collectors just answer questions, small time, large. Everybody's a collector, no matter how large your collection is or small.
That's true. And do you find there's a lot of rip-offs or non-official things made that people get caught up in buying?
Yes. So I think everybody has kind of found themselves at one point making the mistake, especially eBay. I would say eBay is the worst sometimes with it. If you don't know what filters to put or to see where it's coming from, I think a lot of people have made a mistake. I myself have ordered from eBay when I first started, did not realize it, and ended up with a bootleg or remake. And so I think I try to let people know, educate, like what are the things to look for, especially with anime figures. Fortunately, they're pretty on top of what they do on every figure, so you can call it out. And I do try to educate some. I've had a lot of questions of, hey, what do I look for? Because or this person's trying to sell it to me for a very high price. It looks great. I'm willing to pay it if it's the right figure. But I'm like, hey, I looked at it. It's not. So don't pay the money. And everybody has their preferences. Some people I've seen actually in anime collecting groups that are okay with making some or purchasing some bootlegs or remakes, because they're like, it's same great quality. I just don't have the money to spend on an official figure, and to each his own, if that's what your preference is. But I'll show you what it looks like compared to a real one, and you make your decision or what you're able to get.
There you go. Educating people, which is really nice.
Yes.
It's a good thing. It's good being a good collector with other collectors. It's nice. And not hoarding, not showing them.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what I love about the collector community is when people are willing to share and offer advice and just, be buddies in this. I think I've met some great people. The best people I've met is through collecting. And one of my buddies is the one that showed me and taught me everything. And we're still great friends to this day. And I've been able to help some other ones and get them started. Some of them probably would say I'm the worst influence in their life because now they spend all this money. But otherwise, I've just met some awesome people, and I appreciate. I've seen some collectors that have been collecting for 30 years, and they've offered me advice, or they're like, "Man, I love your collection." I'm like, "Mine, look at yours." So it's just awesome when you can just appreciate others for what they do and they enjoy, because that's what it's about. We just enjoy it. At the end of the day, it makes us happy.
Yes, it does. And thank you for making us happy and showing us your collection today. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, thank you for watching. If you have a collection, I'd love to chat with you because I love chatting with the collectors. And please watch us, share us, and like us at Collectors Haven. And thanks for joining us. And thank you, CJ, for everything. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Bye.